up with that. I believe I just have my microphone muted, but here we are. We're back to it. I'm meteorologist Kit Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Once again, this is ABC 24 on 24 Plus and on Facebook. So we've got Facebook comments up here as well. So if you have a comment, concerned about the cold weather that's on the way, be sure to let me know, and I'll get to those comments here in the next little bit. But starting things off, looking in Cordova, things are a little cloudy out there. And as we look at the almanac numbers from today, let's take a look at this here. We got up to 61 degrees today, which you may call me a liar for that because this afternoon was frigid and we were in the 40s all afternoon. The interesting thing is the actual high came at midnight tonight, and we did not see the temperatures getting back above the midnight high. So it has been a cold and breezy and frigid day. The last 24 hours, we've seen temperatures drop anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees around the area. Sometimes during the day were much colder than they were the day before. So we were nearing that 30-degree temperature drop in 24 hours. But not quite as bad now, but still noticeably cooler than it was this time yesterday. Right now we're in the 40s across the Mid-South, so it is definitely on the more chilly side of things. We've got 40 degrees up towards Dyersburg, 43 in Corinth and Oxford, 46 still in Clarksdale, so a little more mild for you, and 42 here in Memphis. Let's take a look overnight tonight. Temperatures are dropping down into the freezing range by 6 a.m. We're going to see our lows mostly in the upper 20s around the area. And then tomorrow afternoon, some of us might not even break out of the 30s back to our east. I think that's a better shot out towards Middle Tennessee, low 40s here in Memphis. Then overnight into Tuesday, once again, we've got temperatures dropping down into the 20s. We'll be back in the 50s, though. It's going to warm up pretty quickly tomorrow afternoon. It's not going to stay cold forever, and it's really just a couple of mornings of this really cold blast. Then things are going to start to warm back up as we head over the next couple of days. Here's a look at the dew points right now. Now, dew point is more relevant to the actual relative temperature to judge how dry it is, how dry you're going to feel. Because if it's 20s for dew points and 70s for the temperature, that's a really big spread. So a lot of the moisture can get wicked away from you. So you will feel really dry. You'll need to drink more water. Your lips will get chapped. And that leads to more fire danger risk as well. But not going to be the case now since our temperature is so low. There's not as much space for moisture to escape your body. But still pretty dry, low dew points, and there's really not going to be enough moisture for any precipitation. That's what it's more relevant for. So the next weather impact is this cold blast the next couple of days here. We'll call it the next 36 hours, 48 hours or so. Then things will start to warm up for us. But we're dropping below freezing. Many of us are going to be colder tomorrow than it was even today, as we'll see highs right around the low 40s for many of us. So 20s and 30s for the next mornings, and we'll see 30s lasting through most of the day tomorrow until those few hours we get up to near our high temperature, then we drop back into the 30s. So you're definitely going to need the coats. You're going to need to bundle up as you're heading out the door tomorrow morning, because we're about 25 degrees below average. Now, here's the good news. The next couple of days, we actually start to warm things back up pretty quickly, in fact. So it is going to be a much more nice Wednesday than the Monday and Tuesday we'll see. It's going to be pretty frigid and very blustery as well the next couple of days. Then by the later part of the week, we're back into the 70s. It's going to be very nice. So here's a look at satellite and radar. We'll take you on a tour around the eastern half of the country right now. Here in Memphis, looking at our viewing area, we've just had a few clouds through the day. It's been a pretty gloomy day, especially compared to yesterday. Nice blue skies we had. But those clouds are starting to move out as the dry air is moving in, and the cold air is also moving in. Back up towards Middle Tennessee in the Nashville area, a little bit of light rain, maybe some flurries on radar. Whether they're making it to the surface, I'm not entirely sold on that. But here across the Kentucky area, that's where we're getting more of the mix of rain and snow. In Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, the Great Lakes states here, we have got snow. Not we, Memphis. We are friends to the north. We've got a pretty decent lake effect snow band coming off of Lake Michigan right now. So you can see that we've got that northerly flow to the wind there. And you've also got these little curls in the snowfall here. So you can see just that little curly band that's coming in there, another curly band right around in there. Those are just little mesovortices, we call them, where the wind is moving in different rates of speed. So it's actually curling around on itself, creating these little spirals of snow coming off of Lake Michigan. South Bend, some heavy snow around that area this evening. Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Saginaw Bay actually having a little bit of lake effect snow coming off of there, as well as Traverse Bay into Traverse City, Michigan. So whenever we have just these little bitty inlets, there's all these little crags of little inlets of water around the Michigan area. So that's where we have just that extra bit of moisture for the wind to blow over. There's this concept called fetch. It's the distance across which a wind flows across a body of water, and it's really important for waves and for lake effect snow. So with lake effect snow, you can see here the western end of Lake Superior only has a really short fetch right now for where the wind is coming. Only about 50 to 75 miles or so in that area, versus Lake Michigan, it's almost 300 miles long. So we've got a fetch for this lake effect snow, about 250 to 300 miles across this lake. So that's why we're getting so much lake effect snow coming into northern Indiana. Meanwhile, back towards the northeast into eastern Canada, some decent snowfall across Quebec and Ontario. Not as much across the U.S., but into northern Maine, there's some snow there. A little bit of rain-snow mix as well into the northern part of upstate New York. Across the Carolinas and Virginia, we've got a little bit of rain there and even a chance for some isolated severe storms in this area down into Florida. But overall, Memphis, we're staying dry. We're not going to see any rainfall really for a while. As we look through the forecast here, overall, things are going to stay dry through the day tomorrow, but pretty breezy as well. That northwest wind, is bringing in all that cold air. Then it becomes a little more still overnight into early Tuesday. Then a southern wind starts to come in, and that's going to also impact our temperatures. That'll help us warm up the next couple of days here as well. Then Wednesday, we'll have a few clouds going into Wednesday, but really not any rainfall expected. Now, here's the wind chill. The wind chill is an interesting thing, and it's an important thing to keep in mind whenever we're getting into the winter months. This is why we tell you to cover up all of the exposed skin, especially of your extremities, your ears, a scarf on your mouth and face if it is exceptionally cold, and gloves especially. So what the wind chill is, it's a human relevant equation that we look at. It's basically how your skin works. It keeps your air around your skin insulated as you radiate a little bit of heat into that nearby air. You actually keep this sort of thermal barrier, and it keeps you a little bit warmer. So that's nice, but whenever you have a wind, it keeps blowing that thermal layer around your skin away, exposing you to the cold, and you continue to radiate heat. Sorry about my microphone there. As you radiate heat, it continues to cool you down, and that's how you can get frostbite pretty quickly. I'm not thinking it's going to be a major issue for us, but overnight tonight by 1 a.m., we're seeing the wind chills getting down into the mid-20s, so that's when we start that weather impact alert overnight tonight. Then by tomorrow morning, we could see some wind chills down into the teens around the area, so definitely a frigid start to the day. Bundling up as you're headed out to the door. If you're going from your house to your car to your building, it's not going to be much of an issue. You can run in, you'll warm up, you're not going to freeze to death right away. But if you're going to be outside for a long time, say if you're monitoring car drop-off in the morning at school, you're going to need to be bundled up. Make sure you're staying warm, drink some hot coffee or cocoa or tea in the morning. By the afternoon, the wind chills don't really cool down or warm up very much. We're down into the 20s and 30s for most of us through the afternoon. Then we're back into the 20s overnight into our Tuesday morning. Again, it's going to be a slight bit warmer because we'll have a little bit of a warmer start to the day, less of a wind, but now it's out of the south, but still have a wind chill. And then through the day, wind chill completely out of the question. So in the meantime, as a quick recap, overnight tonight, we're dropping back to around 29 degrees here in Memphis, 26 out towards Bolivar, 25 in Corinth and Holly Springs, Oxford as well, 26, Clarksdale, one of the warmer spots, only 29 for you, but this is what's considered a hard freeze. So it is going to be a pretty pretty much the end of the growing season. My husband's texting me because I forgot to disconnect the hose pipe, so I was texting him about it. But tonight, make sure you disconnect the hose pipe, empty it out so it doesn't pop and freeze as well, and put that insulator over the spigot as well. One good thing, I don't think we're going to have an issue with frozen pipes in your home. Even if you don't have very good insulation, this isn't going to be cold enough for us to have freezing pipes in your home. So that's going to be good news. But we do have that weather impact alert, even still, for the night tonight. Again, 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. is when we're going to be seeing those deep freeze temperatures getting below the freezing mark. So you're going to need to bundle up tomorrow. Definitely turn on the heat. I turned on the heat last night. Technically, my husband did. So we were warm this morning. It was pretty chilly overnight tonight. And we're going to be even colder tomorrow morning. Colder the day after that, then we'll start to warm things back up. If you want, later on in the week, you can turn your heat back off and keep the MLGW bill pretty low the next couple of days after this freeze, but we're going to need it tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow, high only around 41 degrees, so definitely going to be chilly through the day. Then we see over the next couple of days, those temperatures do get back up into the 60s Wednesday, 70s by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we've got a chance for some rain as we head into next week as well. So overall, things are staying on the cool side for the first couple of days of the week. The later half, it's really not going to be much of an issue for us. Overall, things stay a little more like fall. It's just going to be those big swings of fall rather than staying around our average temperature. Because if we look at the long-range outlook here, heading into early next week, it looks like we stay above average, and even the rainfall, it looks like we'll see maybe some better rain on the way at that point. So I'm going to call it quits here, wrap things up. We're back on air tonight at 9 o'clock on the CW and at 10 o'clock on ABC 24 as well. So hopefully you can join us for that. Again, going to be a cold night ahead. Current temperatures still in the 40s, but temperatures are about to drop really quickly as you head into your evening and into the overnight. So for everyone here at ABC 24 and CW 30, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here tonight.